Hi folks, hope you're well. So, I did a slight report on the one football game. So, the Man United versus Fulham, or really Fulham versus Man United, was at Fulham's ground. Well, I would say for the first 5 minutes, Man United were very good. If they could play that way for 90 minutes, one would say they would definitely get top 4. But they played that way for about 5 minutes. Maybe 10 if you're generous. But then after that, they just did what they always do. They stopped working. I mean, they were still working, but they stopped pressing as hard. They stopped trying to get the ball forward as quickly. Yeah, everything they were doing right, they stopped. They went back to the way they've been playing every season. Yeah. After about 20 minutes, again, the defenders were seeing more of the ball than the forwards. And, yeah. When you're watching it, I didn't even bother watching most of the second half because, I watched the first half and, every time... Well, again, you've got the young lad, Ahmad, who I'm not overly keen on. I don't rate him. A lot of people rate him. He had a very good couple of months where he was, defenders didn't know him, they didn't know what to expect of him, and he was quite good. He's quite bright. But then, he really has gone off the boil a lot. And now he's expected to play as a wing back. And, again today, every single time he got the ball, pretty much, he just looked to pass it back to the keeper. It was safe, play again. It was, let's not take a risk. At one point, before he was doing that, he did try and do a very lazy bit of skill. It wasn't very lazy. He lost the ball, and he had to run back and, tackle, basically on the goal. Well, not the goal line in the goal, but the line, And, okay, he did well to do that. After that, he just played it safe. And Bruno, oh my God. Bruno, Bruno did today, again, exactly what I always expect from Bruno. He's an emotional baby. He's always been a petulant player, throwing his arms up and all that sort of crap. Well, today, United got a penalty. Fair, it was a penalty, yes. I've always said that wrestling doesn't belong in football. It shouldn't. WWE style wrestling shouldn't belong in football. And again, we saw it today. The Fulham number 3. He's a chunky fella. He's a big lad. And Mason Mount was trying to sort of come around him. And he just grabbed him and yanked him around. And threw him, basically. So they looked at that and said, no, that's got to be a penalty because you can't do that. They're trying to crack down on wrestling in football. Good. But then, as Bruno was prepared to take the kick, he was stepping backwards as he does, ready for his run up. And the referee was getting out of the way at the same time. And the referee bumped into Bruno. Oh. And Bruno, he reacted. He got offended because the referee didn't say no. He even admitted it after the game. After the game, he said he got triggered by the referee not apologising. You're the captain of the team, What are you doing? You are the one who's supposed to be leading by example. And you get triggered during the game. And then you miss the penalty because in your mind you're still angry that the ref didn't apologise. But if he didn't bump into him on purpose... I mean, who bumped into who, actually? Could have been Bruno bumping into the referee. Right? Neither of them were looking where they were going. So 50-50, really. Yeah. Yeah, Bruno. Yeah, it got to him. My goodness me. Yeah. Yeah. And then for a while after, he was incredibly petulant and incredibly bitchy for a bit. And again, for the Fulham goals, it was 1-1 in the end. Bruno was apparently the one who wasn't tracking back. Yeah. That's what's been reported, that Bruno was the one who didn't track the player who was running to score. And so, yeah. And Ruben Amorim, after the game, was saying that, when United went ahead, what he wanted them to do was defend the lead. Well, that's what they tried to do. They sat back. And because they sat back, because they weren't pressing, yeah. I don't know what they should do now. I really don't know, because basically transfer window is nearly closed. Too late to get rid of most of your players. But Dalot should have been sold. Casemiro should have been got rid of. Bruno should have been sold. Bruno should have been properly advertised and told, sorry, you're not going to fit. We're bringing in 2 new number 10s. You won't fit. You can't play up front because we're bringing those 2 in. They're a lot more aggressive, a lot quicker, a lot more sprightly than you are, so therefore you won't get in ahead of them. You can't play as part of a midfield 2, so therefore, sorry, unless there's an injury or someone's banned, you can't play. So therefore, there's no point in you being captain if you can't bring in play. And you might as well go and play somewhere. So, speak to your agent, find a club. That's what they should have done. But they didn't. Harry Maguire should have been got rid of. They've still got too many players. Dalot, Casemiro, Bruno, Maguire. Who else? Xerxes. Xerxes, what the heck is he still doing there? Again, Rasmus Højlund couldn't even get on the bench. Right? Yeah. I honestly think Ruben Amorim is going to be sacked. I would be surprised if he lasts out the season. Because United desperately need goals. Again, he didn't start with a forward. He's saying that Sesko has left Germany, come to Manchester. He's moved home, so therefore he's trying to sort his home out. So he's using him as a sub rather than starting. That's crap. Utter crap. Just like he said, he's not picking Onana as goalkeeper because Onana's been injured. He's not really had any minutes. He's a goalkeeper. Standing around most of the blinking game. How many minutes does he need to play in goal? All he's got to do is stretch. He's a goalkeeper. He's not going to run around the pitch all blinking game, is he? He doesn't need match practice to get up to speed of the game. He's a goalkeeper. Well, again. So, yeah. I don't imagine that Ruben Amorim will be there much longer. Again, there was hope with him that he would be the sort of manager who would have the stones to make decisions, and yet, no. He's fallen into the same trap that every other manager's fallen into, especially with the Bruno one. You can't not play Bruno. Even if you're playing him in a position where he is much more ineffectual, and actually he's causing us a problem. Because he doesn't track the runner. In the last game we played against Arsenal, he played a pass to a defender in the penalty area instead of getting rid of the ball, who has an opposition player right next to him. And they got a corner and they scored from the corner. Yeah. For goodness sake, you know that. Anyone who's ever played in midfield or defence knows that in our own penalty area, you don't try and play balls like that. You don't, especially right next to the goal. You don't. When your position is surrounding you, you don't do that. You get rid of the bloody thing. You get that ball out of the area. You know, hopefully up the pitch, but for a throw-in, a bit further up the pitch, so you can all get out of your own penalty area. But he doesn't have that understanding. He doesn't understand from a defensive point of view, because he's an attacking midfielder. So there you go. It wasn't just Bruno. As I say, there was a lot wrong again. You know, settling back into every time you get the ball, you pass it back to a defender, you pass it around the defence, and you do all that. Yeah, as I say, the first 5 minutes, as soon as they got the ball, they were looking to get it forward, and they created opportunities. They didn't take the opportunities, but they did create some. They created some good goal scoring opportunities. Just didn't really take any. Apart from the one they took from a corner, but there you go. But overall, no, it was a fair result, 1-1. But yeah, this whole point that from everyone said, give them a pre-season, they can play well and press hard, get the ball forward quickly. Remember, Ralph Rangnick wanted the team to do exactly what they did in the first 5 minutes.